Tonight, concerns about the potential for historic flooding as Debby strengthens in the Gulf. Airlines canceling flights ahead of the storm and high-stakes interviews. Vice President Kamala Harris meets with the finalists for her running mate. We begin with Debby, now rapidly intensifying with landfall expected early tomorrow. Florida is now feeling the effects where a state of emergency has already been declared. Travelers are impacted, too, after the cancellation of more than 2,000 flights. A big concern is flooding. Parts of the South are preparing for 10 to 20 inches. Major cities, including Savannah and Charleston, already on high alert. We have team coverage, including our chief meteorologist, Ginger Z, on where Debby is heading and when. Also tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris on the verge of choosing a running mate. The field now narrowed down to a few top contenders with a decision expected within days. And Donald Trump on the campaign trail, testing out new lines of attack, claiming Harris is low IQ. The U.S. and Israel brace for blowback, with Iran threatening revenge for the killing of a top Hamas official in Tehran. Washington is standing with Israel months after helping to shoot down hundreds of drones and missiles. The war in Ukraine enters a new phase as the first U.S.-made F-16s arrive. Ukraine's president shares the impact the fighter jets may have. A tragic and shocking death. A 5-year-old boy is killed when a bounce house flies off and crashes onto a baseball field. What we've learned about the safety of those houses. Violent protests across Britain. Far-right groups attacked police and mosques after a brutal stabbing killed 3 young girls. Tonight, new information about the suspect. It's happened again. 3 more Americans arrested in Turks and Caicos for allegedly having ammunition in their luggage. Could they face long sentences? And going for the gold, a huge night for Team USA, and not just the swimmers. Noah Lyles in a photo finish to claim the title of world's fastest man. And new safety questions after athletes get sick after swimming in the Seine River.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Linsey Davis. As we come on the air, millions in Florida and up and down the eastern seaboard are bracing for Debby and the impact that's expected to last well into the week. Debby is moving north through the Gulf, churning up the surf on Florida's west coast. These images are from near Fort Myers. The storm is gaining strength in the warmer than usual waters. Temperatures are about 4 to 5 degrees above normal. Debby is already helping to snarl air travel with thousands of flight cancellations and delays today. We have team coverage tonight, and we begin with ABC's chief meteorologist, Ginger Z. And Ginger, this is supposed to make landfall tomorrow morning, but time this out for us because I know you're thinking that we're still going to be talking about this storm for several days.
Exactly, Lindsay. We're talking about the initial impacts here in Florida, but the story will end up being history-making, potentially, for parts of Georgia and South Carolina. I'll get to it all, but this storm right now is about 120 miles to our west, and it's moving north. As it moves north, it's going to move into those really warm waters. Rapid intensification will happen. We could have a high-end Cat 1 or even low-end Cat 2 making landfall by tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, we have tornado warnings popping all around us. We've got one 15 miles away. The watch there went up to the Georgia state line. But after it makes landfall tomorrow morning with Cedar Key, kind of on that right dirty side as we call it, it slows down, like painstakingly slow for southeast Georgia and coastal South Carolina. That push of water combined with 10 to 20 inches and upwards of 30 some places will be painstaking, as I mentioned, and could make history because we're going to end up seeing that through Thursday. The surge is going to be a problem, too, because we're pushing all this water up against the coast, and then you drop all of that rain. You see some of the highest totals in white there. Lindsay, we will most certainly be talking about Debby all the way through the end of this week.
A real rainmaker where you are there already. Ginger, thanks so much. Stay safe. Florida residents are getting ready for what's expected to be the first named storm of the year to come ashore there. States of emergency have already been declared by the governors of Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina, and President Biden has already earmarked federal funds for Florida. ABC's Faith Abubey reports from the storm zone.
Tonight, millions in Florida bracing for impact. Tropical storm Debby whipping through the Gulf of Mexico about 100 miles off Florida's coast. Strong winds and rain blasting the region. That area just emerging from recent storms, now facing yet another deluge. The storm expected to drop way more water than last year's Hurricane Idalia.
And now we've got 4 to 6 inches coming, and and I'm just not sure where it's going to go.
Debby now expected to strengthen into a hurricane before making landfall in Florida's Big Bend region of the Gulf Coast. Potential life-threatening storm surge putting homeowners on alert. South Carolina also declaring a state of emergency. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis placing most of the state's cities and counties under emergency orders. Evacuations in parts of the Gulf Coast. DeSantis saying all hands are on deck for the storm.
If you have been ordered to evacuate by your local officials, please heed that call.
Here in Gainesville, families stocking up on sandbags, expecting that storm to be headed their way soon. Richard and his family following that evacuation order.
Are you feeling any anxiety right now?
A little bit, but not too much. Just concerned about my home because I'm in a mobile home. There's a lot of trees around it.
And Linsey, this is just one of the emergency operations centers where officials are tracking the storm and shoring up resources like water, sandbags, and emergency meals. There are also 3,000 members of the Florida National Guard on standby for search and rescue. Linsey.
Faith Abubey, our thanks to you. And now to the storm and the thunderstorms in the Northeast, bringing some travel to a standstill. ABC's Morgan Norwood joins us now from Newark Airport. Hi, Morgan.
Hi, Linsey. Yes, we know that Debby continues to approach, but we're already seeing a number of travel disruptions, as you pointed out. That's mostly due to the line of severe storms, a separate system that's moving through the Northeast right now. More than 2,000 flights canceled, and we're seeing triple that when it comes to the number of delays, and it's happening at airports up and down the East Coast. Look, from Miami to Charlotte, even right here in the New York City area, that number only expected to climb, of course, as Debby turns in. When it comes to the major carriers, it's American Airlines hit the hardest, seeing the highest number of cancellations, scrubbing 16% of their schedules. That storm also impacting travel on the seas. We're talking about Debby. Some cruise lines, including Carnival and Royal Caribbean, already forced to adjust their travel itinerary for passengers as the storm moves in. Linsey?
Travel slow going in a number of modes there, Morgan. Thank you. Now to the Paris Games and a big day for Team USA. American swimmers set 2 world records. Gymnast Suni Lee adding another medal to her collection. But all eyes were on the track where Noah Lyles hoped to prove that he is the world's fastest man. ABC's Ines De La Cuetara is watching it all.
In a dramatic photo finish, tonight Noah Lyles sprints to his first gold medal in the men's 100-meter final. The American sprinter celebrating with his family.
I'm so proud.
Lyles now dubbed the fastest man in the world, coming from behind to win by just fractions of a second. The first time in 20 years an American has won this event. From gold on the track to gold in the pool, a huge day for Team USA.
Because everybody on the planet's got to believe there is no way he is losing this race.
Starting with an incredible showing from Bobby Fink, winning gold in the 1,500-meter freestyle, setting a new world record. The women setting records too, winning the women's 4x100-meter medley relay. And it wasn't close, smashing the world record and beating the competition by nearly 5 seconds. And for the first time in 64 years, the gold medal in the men's 4x100 medley relay does not belong to the U.S. China's stunning Team USA, the men settling for silver. In gymnastics, Suni Lee soared to take home the bronze medal in uneven bars, her 3rd medal of these 2024 games. It was also a day for thrilling comebacks. Team USA cyclist Kristen Faulkner, who made the team as a replacement, surging from 4th to 1st in the final moments. The drama of the games extending outside the arenas too. Team Belgium saying they will not participate in the mixed triathlon relay set to be held on Monday in the Seine after athlete Claire Michel fell ill. Taken to the Olympic Village Polyclinic today for treatment. The Swiss team also saying one of its athletes, Adrian Briffod, will not compete in the mixed relay event due to a stomach infection. Both Michel and Briffod competed in the triathlon individual, swimming in the River Seine, though it's still unclear whether water quality may be to blame for their illnesses.
And Linsey, another Team USA win in that 100-meter dash. Fred Kerley taking the bronze. Team USA now tying China for the #1 spot in the gold medal tally with 19 golds and leading in the total medal count with 71 medals so far. Lindsay?
Big victories for Team USA across the board there, Ines. Thank you. And speaking of races, now to the race for the White House and the question of Vice President Harris's running mate. Harris is meeting with the men believed to be at the top of her list: Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. She's expected to make her announcement very soon. Here's ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
Tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris on the verge of choosing her running mate. Sources tell ABC News she's meeting today with top contenders at her residence in D.C., including popular first-term Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, a former prosecutor, Arizona Senator and retired astronaut Mark Kelly, the husband of Gabby Giffords, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, a retired school teacher and former congressman.
If Harris wins this election, you will quickly have a Kamala economic crash.
Trump last night rallying in battleground Georgia, hurling personal insults.
She has a very low IQ.
But many Republicans want Trump to tone down the attacks, including questioning Harris's race.
Every day we're talking about her heritage and not her terrible, dangerous liberal record throughout her entire political life. It's a good day for her and a bad day for us.
Do you think Trump is taking the right strategy in attacking Harris?
I think Donald Trump needs to stick to the facts and stay along that line and stick to the issues.
Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, still doing damage control, acknowledging that even some Republicans are disappointed that he's on Trump's ticket.
I actually take their criticism as a badge of honor.
Going so far as to say his name on the ticket doesn't make a difference.
My attitude is it doesn't really care. As much as this is, it doesn't really matter. As much as this is a hit to my ego, people are going to vote primarily for Donald Trump or for Kamala Harris. Right. That's the way these things go.
Donald Trump only has one rally on his schedule for the coming week. Vice President Harris, on the other hand, she'll be hitting 7 battleground states in just 5 days, along with her new running mate. So the clock is really ticking for her to make a decision. Their first joint rally is Tuesday night in Pennsylvania. Lindsay?
Pennsylvania, of course, believed to be vital for Democrats in November. Selena, thank you. Overseas now, the IDF says it is on high alert and U.S. forces are heading to the region amid fears of a wider war with Iran. Tehran is threatening retaliation after the assassination of a top Hamas leader. ABC's Matt Rivers joins us now from Israel. Matt, President Biden said this weekend that he hopes Iran stands down. Tell us what you're learning.
Yeah, Lindsay, Israel is bracing tonight for that Iranian retaliation that could really begin at any moment. And tonight we're hearing from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu acknowledging just how tense things are, saying in part, quote, "I do not underestimate the severity of this threat." He went on to say Israel is prepared to defend itself alongside the U.S., with the U.S. adding Navy cruisers, destroyers, and fighter jets to bolster its anti-missile defenses. President Biden adding he, quote, hopes Iran will stand down. Meanwhile, the devastation in Gaza continues. The IDF saying it targeted 2 schools it says were being used as Hamas command centers. Officials say those airstrikes killing 30 people, as any ceasefire deal seems unlikely to happen anytime soon. Lindsay?
Yeah, those ceasefire talks now in doubt. Matt, thank you. To Ukraine, where they are now showing off the new pride of its Air Force, American-made F-16 fighter jets. President Zelensky thanked the U.S. and its allies who donated the planes and the Ukrainian pilots who have mastered flying them. Zelensky had long lobbied for the planes to help Ukraine in its fight against the Russian invasion. Britain's new Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, is condemning far-right violence spreading across the country. We're just learning that 10 police officers were injured in clashes in northern England tonight. Nearly 150 people have been arrested so far this weekend in several major cities. ABC's Patrick Reevell joins us now with the details from London.
Tonight, Britain grappling with an eruption of far-right violence. Nearly 150 people arrested this weekend as violent anti-immigration rallies hit multiple cities for the 3rd day in a row. Far-right groups exploiting the horrific stabbing attack at a dance class last Monday that killed 3 children. In the northern city of Rotherham today, a mob attacking this hotel that was housing asylum seekers, trying to set it on fire. Police saying at least 10 officers injured. Since Wednesday, mobs of young men have rampaged in most major northern cities, including Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, breaking into shops, some targeting mosques.
Nazis go off our streets!
though anti-racism counter-protesters often outnumbering them. The violence following far-right activists spreading false claims on social media that the suspect in that dance class stabbing attack was a Muslim illegal immigrant. In reality, the 17-year-old suspect was born and raised in Britain and is the son of Rwandan immigrants. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer tonight promising those involved in the violence will face the full force of the law.
This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
As we speak, there are reports of a second hotel being attacked in northern England. These are already the worst riots in the UK in more than a decade, and the government is blaming the far right, saying they are coordinating the violence and promising swift prosecution for all those involved. Lindsay.
Patrick, thank you. Back here at home, a night at the ballpark turned to tragedy. A 5-year-old boy died. Another was hurt when strong winds sent a bounce house at a Maryland minor league baseball park flying at least 15 feet into the air. ABC's Perry Russum has the details.
A heartbroken community tonight after a bounce house with children inside goes airborne, killing a 5-year-old boy.
We're on the field, in the outfield on the first base side. We got the standby units in and North Medical Duty officer working on the 2 kids now.
Officials say a gust of wind at a baseball game in southern Maryland threw the bounce house 15 to 20 feet in the air, sending children falling to the ground.
I need a second helicopter for a consult from North Medical to Children's Hospital.
This happened during a Southern Maryland Blue Crabs game Friday night an hour south of Washington, D.C. Players surrounding the bounce house on the field, some in apparent disbelief. It's not clear if the bounce house was secured to the ground or where it was before going airborne. Pictures from the scene show a playground nearby.
A second child has non-life-threatening injuries. The name of the 5-year-old boy who was killed has not been released. He's from a town about 10 minutes away from that stadium, Lindsay.
Such an awful story. Perry, thank you. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday, including late information on California's park fire, now the 4th largest in state history. And Deadpool and Wolverine is about to join an exclusive box office club. Next, in Northern California, fire crews are reporting some progress in fighting the park fire, thanks in part to some wet weather. The fire is now 30% contained, but in less than 2 weeks, it has burned through more than 400,000 acres of brush and destroyed more than 500 structures. The fire is now the 4th largest in California history. When we come back, 3 more Americans arrested for allegedly carrying ammunition into Turks and Caicos. 3 more Americans have been arrested in Turks and Caicos after ammunition was discovered in their luggage at the airport. One allegedly had more than 50 rounds in his bag. Several other Americans had faced prison terms of up to 12 years after being arrested in Turks on similar charges. They were given suspended sentences after members of Congress appealed for leniency. Fans of the Marvel Universe keep flocking to the box office. Deadpool and Wolverine has earned close to $400 million in North America in just its first 10 days of release. Its opening last weekend was the 8th best of all time, and the movie could top $1 billion worldwide this week. Deadpool and Wolverine was produced by Disney, the parent company of ABC. When we come back, hanging 10 with man's best friend, a rough competition at the beach. Finally tonight, they don't just doggy paddle. These canines are catching waves.
These are the dog days of summer reimagined. Hundreds gathered this weekend as pups took over Pacifica, California on surfboards.
The waves were pretty powerful today. It's a good day for dog surfing.
Welcome to the World Dog Surfing Championships, where 20 dogs and their owners from as far away as Japan come to carve the waves. Isa, a 4-year-old French bulldog, knows how to hang 10 like a pro. This is her 3rd time competing.
French bulldogs don't surf and or swim. They usually kind of sink. This one's an overachiever.
What a wave, what a ride.
Judging is similar to regular surfing.
I'm judging it on the waves they do, if they're staying on the board long enough, how long they can manage to hold their balance.
No wipeouts for 8-year-old Ava, a black Labrador.
She loves it. I think the crowd excites her.
Proceeds from the contest support local animal rescue groups. The waves and the dogs all looking swell.
Too cool. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Linsey Davis. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Until then, have a great night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.